The print menu is designed to give you access to the most common sets of information that you might want to print out. So obviously, if you click on the L1 dashboard, it prints out the L1 dashboard, L2 dashboard detailed. Each of the individual measures that show up on the L1 dashboard have their own, and each of these produces both the overall and then a data page, each of the data pages of the children measures, and then the overall print and so on. So that's pretty straightforward. To understand the mechanics of these, though, is a bit more complicated. These are all based on a series of macros that drive the print. The dilemma that we have with Excel 2003 is that there's no report print macro. So for something like the overall report here, this is about 50 pages. And at RBC, the report manager is not installed with Excel. So what we have to do is create a view, a custom view for each of the pages, and then write a macro to print that custom view. So the custom views are available to you by going under the menu and taking a look at custom views. And what ends up happening is the print area is highlighted as a specific view.
So let's take a look at how the print process works. First, I will just go to an area, let's say the L1 dashboard. And what we'll do is highlight the area that we want to print. So in this case, we'll just start here at A2 and go down to the bottom and include the legend. Now the way that we set it up is we then go to File and set up the print characteristics. So in this case, if we go to Print, what we'll do is set it up so that we understand exactly what it is that we want configured in the print. So in this example, if I hit, I'm just going to print the selection and do the preview. What we've done for these is we're going to do setup, and in this particular case, we're going to ask that the setup is fitting it to one page. And then we're going to set up the headers and footers. And in this case, we do a custom footer where we'll say RBC confidential. In the center, we'll put down the date printed so that we'll always know what version we're looking at, and then the file on the right so we know what version. Now what that looks like is something along these lines. And then we're going to close this down and save this as a view. So if I go into View, Custom Views, and we can just name what the view is that we want and save it. As we save it, I'll just make this a sample name for now. It gives us the choice of whether we want to save the print settings or not. We choose the print settings, but unclick the hidden rows, and then you're good to save it. Now what that will do for you is save that page layout with the headers and footers and so forth, and then we'll call those up later through the macros so that when it prints out, it has the right footers on it and the table of the legends and so forth at the bottom. Now the second part are the print macros. Let's go take a look at those. So we'll just go into Tools, Macro, and we will take a look at an existing macro. Let's say print L1, since that's what we've been looking at. Where's L1? Print L1. Now to edit it, you'll see that these are grayed out, and they're grayed out because they're password protected. So what I forgot to do is to unlock them. So if I go Alt F11, that gives me the chance of unlocking these. I just click on whichever one I want to unlock, and you need to unlock these bottom two. And the password is Sunny Days, SUNNYDAY. And you'll need to unlock both of them. So you'll now see it opens up because it's unlocked. Next one, SUNNYDAY, and away we go. Now I can go back to those macros. Easiest way to find them is go back to macros, and let's go back to that print L1, that we've been talking about, print L1. Now the edit is ungrayed because we've unlocked it, and we can take a look at it. Now the way that these macros work are as follows. The first part, the problem that we have with 2003 is if someone has been looking at the spreadsheet and clicked on a chart or an arrow or something, the focal point is no longer in the page, and then the custom view process doesn't work. So for every print routine, the first step is to go to that tab, in this case the L1 dashboard tab, and then select the cell A1. So it's effectively like clicking on the cell A1, and that way we've stopped people from the possibility of having it, the focal point being selecting a graph or an arrow or something that will cause a print routine to work or fail. So that's the first 2 lines of macro, and then we go ahead and choose whatever the view is that we want from the custom views. In this case, the custom view for the L1 dashboard is called L1, and then we go ahead and we just print that, and we print one page. So they all work the same. So if we look at L2, now L2 dashboard ends up being several pages long. So if we take a look at that macro, what we see is, again, it goes to the L2 dashboard, puts a focal point onto cell L1 so that I've gotten rid of that problem. And then we print each of the pages. So to get each page to print, we've done a custom view. In this case, L2 P1 would be page 1. Then it prints it. Then it chooses the second custom view, which is L2 P2, which is the second page, and so forth. So this goes through each of the 7 pages and prints them individually. So when you're doing the print routine, you'll actually see the screen flashing through each of these as it tries to print it. Now, probably now is too late in the conversation to point it out, but to run the print macro, it only works on your default printer. So once you set the default printer and you choose the macro, you'll see the focal point moving back and forth and changing tabs and printing each of those pages. And that's what the routine looks like. And there are a whole bunch of different print macros which are out there that go through and create all the different print activities that you're seeing. So that's how the print works. It's using a series of macros and the custom views on the page setups. Which means if you need to change things, for example, you want to change the footer, you need to go into each of these custom views and change them. If you want to change the print sequence or routine, you need to go into the macros to change it. That should make sense to you.